Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and today we are going to fly from the brand new Jetstream Designs Geneva airport over to Antalya in the SunExpress Boeing 737-800. It's been a little while since we've flown my little baby, the 737, the one that made this channel big, and it is about time that we do make another flight from it. Now, we are flying from the brand new Geneva airport, which Jetstream has kindly provided to me as a review copy, so we are going to have a look at this airport. And just to spoil you guys a little bit, yes, I do like it very, very much. They did an awesome job with it, in my opinion. Not only from the terminal interiors, but also, and especially the apron areas, which just look very, very good with all those small details. As you can see, slightly different colorings on the asphalt about everywhere, which is something that you do see around airports very, very much in the real world, but that not very many flight sim developers actually do. Likewise, the colors themselves just match very nicely. If you compare the apron to the constructions on it, then in my opinion that just matches very well. It's hard to put that into proper words, to be honest, but it just seems to make sense. Okay, so we are going to enjoy the airport as we are flying along, but for now let's board our Boeing 737 and we are going to start with our pre-flight preparation. Now, as you can probably see, we have already landed here just now in the 737, so we are in a turnaround state, and this is where we are going to pick the aircraft up. So starting with our weather then, and starting with our flight plan, if we take a look into the plan down here, we can see good weather conditions all over at Geneva, and at our destination Antalya we have clear skies, already 27 degrees at, what is it, about 9 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock locally. So very good weather conditions. Our alternate Alanya is looking good as well, so there's no reason to take any more than minimum fuel. So let's go ahead and have a look at what the minimum is going to be. So we've got 10,000 kilos takeoff fuel plus 200 kilos taxi fuel, so 10,200 kilos is going to be our fuel of choice. Now let's go ahead and request our fuel truck. We are going to load 10,200 kilos in here. And then we can also go ahead and start our boarding already. We have 180 guests today. And last but not least, let's have a look into our cargo, where we have 1,500 kilos in the forward hold and then 500 kilos in the aft hold. Alright, let's request our ground equipment, and once everybody and everything is here, we are going to start our boarding and our loading procedures. So, fuel truck is attaching as well. I'm just waiting for this one to start so that we can actually start our procedures here. So we're going to start our boarding just now, and we are going to start our refueling in a moment as well. So that's attaching at the moment. Let's see if we can get any status update. Yeah, there he is. Just about arriving now. Perfect. Okay, and you can start the refueling. Since we are doing fueling and boarding at the same time, the seatbelt signs need to be off. The no smoking signs need to be on, but those are automatic, so you don't need to worry about them. Okay, so looking very good. Last but not least, we are connecting the forward cards so that we can start our refueling here in a moment. Oh, sorry, our loading, of course. Okay. So while that's in progress, we can go into our FMS and we can start our setup. So let's go ahead and request our flight plan. We are going to take the one from SimBrief here, select route. Call sign is incorrect though, it is SunExpress 6. Let's find that call sign real quick. 6 Bravo Victor. Here we go. Alright, so load up the route, please. Uplink loading. While that's in progress, let's go over to our ground handling on the other side here. And you can start loading our luggage in the back as well. Okay, and the route is here. Wonderful. Well, then let's go ahead, and we are filed for the Madam 5 Charlie departure. let's take a quick look into our charts to make sure that this is actually the right one, since there are several departures available from this runway. Okay, so straight out to Passerie VOR, then a left turn outbound, and it looks like it's only a couple of altitude restrictions that makes the difference here between the different SIDs. So nothing to worry about. We'll take the MEDAM 5 Charlie as planned then. So, departure runway 22, and we have MEDAM 5 Charlie. For our arrival, we are going over to Antalya. We've got an ILS approach for runway 36 right. And we are arriving via the Nesil 1 Alpha arrival. Let's find that one. Nesil 1 Alpha, wonderful. Okay, load, activate, execute. Well then, on to the legs page. Let's make sure that our SID is actually correct. So, climb on the runway track to Passerie VOR, which we have in here. And when passing 7000, but not before 8 dm from Geneva, we make that left-hand turn onto the radial 141 outbound. Okay, so we have 7000 in here, and then we make that left-hand turn and join the radial 141, passing 9 dm above level 100, 16 dm above level 130, and then via Esapi above level 160, 27 dm above level 180, towards Varnas above level 200, and then on towards MEDAM. And that's what we have. Looks good. Initial climb clearance, flight level 9 or 0. Here we go. And that's it. Okay. So let's go ahead and request our wind data then. Well, if we can actually do it, I do believe in the 737 you have to request the performance in it first. Now, those requests in the 737 are something that I'm not 100% familiar with, because my former airline just didn't have any of those. Okay, performance uplink ready, load, cost index 4, 2.2. Well, the zero fuel weight is certainly not correct, neither is the altitude. Okay, we'll have to correct those. So, we're planned on flight level 350. And our zero fuel weight today is going to be 59.9. Alright, that's better. Okay. So, acceleration 1000 above the ground, and reduction 1500 is okay. Alright, that does look good. Then let's draw that 25-mile ring for the MSA awareness. And looking at the chart, there is quite a bit of MSA awareness required over here. So, first of all, we have 7000 within 10 dm from Geneva, but then passing radial 011, that rises to 10,600. So, what I'm gonna do is, I will draw the 011 radial. Come on, you should have been able to do that. 011 and the 10-mile radius as well, so that way we do get a proper MSA drawn over here. Okay, let's have a look. Yep, that looks about the same way it does on the chart. Perfect. Alright, distance 1303 versus a flight plan distance of 1305. That is alright. Very good. Fueling is in progress. Then for our climb, 250 below level 100. That speed looks okay. Cruising, that one says 370, but we don't have the fuel in there just yet. Let's do 10.2. Well, we can go level 370 straight away, huh? Let's just enter that. Should give us a little bit better data. Okay, remaining fuel 3.5, looking good, and then we can go ahead and delete that manual fuel entry again. And last but not least, we do have an error unable speed 250. Well, in that case, I am just gonna make it 250 or less. And that should probably get clear of that message. Okay, wonderful. So that stuff is in. The cargo loading is already completed. Let's go ahead and release all those vehicles. And then we can do the rest of the flight deck setup. So yaw damper is on, nav transfer display switch is normal auto, fuel pumps are going on, thrust feed valve works, everything set over here, set over here. Okay, flight level 370, and Antalya is located somewhat lower than Geneva is. Quick check, runway waypoint 227 feet. That's always 50 feet above the field elevation. So if we go with 200, we should be good to go. No maintenance here, so we'll take the left-hand igniter. Flight director's on. That heading is correct, altitude is correct. Reset the fuel, auto brakes. And I think we've had enough brake cooling for now, so park and brake set. And that is all we need. Perfect. So, let's do our MCP setup then. So we climb straight ahead on 224, outbound Geneva, 11575. Like that, and 224 selected. And then a left turn 141 outbound Passerie, 16.6. And then we can tune 141 in the course on this side here. Like so, and that's it. Okay, beautiful. So that's our setup completed. Are you ready for the departure briefing then? So, threats for the departure, high terrain in the area. How are we going to mitigate that? We'll use the terrain display, and you are going to use the vertical situation display on your side, please. And that's it. Okay, so route check please. We're going from Lima Sierra Golf Golf to Lima Tango Alpha India, Sierra X-Ray Sierra 6 Bravo Victor. The routing is uplinked, so no need to check that. Ground distance 1304 versus 1305. Instrument cross check, time UTC 0706, altimeter 1012, reading 1380. Flight directors are on and minus master, standby instrument set. It's a left seat takeoff on runway 22, flaps 5, noise abatement procedure 2, and in case of emergencies we do follow the SID, but only until Papa Alpha Sierra. Then it is going to be a left-hand turn back to Geneva VR to pick up the holding. Now, in case of emergencies, if the call before V1 is keep going, there will be no actions below 400 feet except to cancel any warnings and raise the landing gear with a positive rate. At 400 feet, verify heading, select and carry out any malfunction. Carry out any memory items. At the MFRA, buck up, retract flaps and schedule. Flaps up, no light, select level change, max continuous, engage the automatics, non-normal checklist, normal checklist, by using its PA, and then we make up a plan. So refueling is complete. Refueling completed. Right, and with that we should be good to go once our boarding is completed. And just the last 10 passengers left here. Okay, so for our taxi, it is going to be a pushback to the left-hand side. Let's go ahead and bring up those charts so that you guys can see it as well. So we're parking up here on 19, pushback with the nose to the left, then taxi out link 5, outer, and then we go to the full length for runway 22. Our departure is the Medam 5 Charlie departure, straight ahead to 8 DME from Geneva or 7000, whichever is later. Then a left-hand turn, radial 141 outbound Passerie, with a couple of altitude restrictions and an initial climb to flight level 900. Any questions? No? Beautiful. Okay, transit before start checklist please. Yaw damper on, fuel 10.2 required, that is 10.2 on board and 6 pumps on. Fasten belts on, window heat on, air cannon press, packs auto, bleeds on set, press mode selector auto, instrument cross checked, auto brake RTO, speed brake. Down detent, park brake set, step from cutter switches normal, radius radar transponder set standby, rudder and aileron trims 3 and 0, take a briefing discussed, holding at the PA. Okay, boarding is completed by the looks of it. Well done. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel in the name of Sun Express. Welcome aboard flight 129 to Antalya. Flight time today is calculated at 2 hours and 55 minutes at a cruising altitude of 37,000 feet or 11,300 meters. We have just finished our loading and will start our pushback in the next few moments once the latest paperwork is complete, and then we are going to make our way directly to our destination. We do expect a smooth flight with an on-time arrival, so sit back, relax and enjoy the flight with us. Last but not least, the cabin crew will shortly carry out the safety demonstration that is not just for your own safety but also for the safety of the passengers sitting around you, so I would like to ask you for your full attention. Thank you very much, and once again, welcome aboard. At this point, we would request the IFR clearance, so let's set our altitude to 9,000 down there. Squawk, something random, 1540. Here we go. Okay, beautiful. So, APU available. And on the buses, park and brake is set, so the ground equipment can be removed. So, is there anything left over here? No. Perfect. Okay, then let's go ahead with our performance. We have a zero fuel weight of 59.7 versus 55.9. 200 kilos difference is okay. Brings us to gross weight of 69.9. Execute that, please. So, then let's go for the performance, please. Geneva, runway 22, import the weights, import the weather, everything looking good here, calculate. 3,900 meters seems correct. So flaps 5 takeoff at 48 degrees assumed temperature. 92.4, 92.4. Okay, flaps 5, we'll import the CG, 6.4 units trim. And the takeoff speeds, 144, 146, 149. And those are all within 1 knot. Okay. And the trim is set. Wonderful. Okay then, we are ready to go. Ground from flight deck. Go ahead. So please confirm all doors and hatches closed, ground equipment removed, and the bypass pin is installed. That's all confirmed, Captain. Roger up, stand by. So before start checklists below the line. No, 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 no. You don't. F you, GSX, really? You don't touch my payload. At least that remained what we wanted it to be. So annoying, this program. I only wanted to push my plane, not load it. Okay, well, let's continue the checklist, please. PA complete, FMC CDU set, N1 and RS box, automatic, and we've got a reduced 26K, 144, 146, 149 set. Step trim, 6.4 units set, performance weight and balance sign send, phones off, EFB, airplane mode and stowed. Flight awareness and cockpit door. Locked doors. Yeah, that's the one you could have done that you didn't do, GSX, huh? Incredibly annoying piece of program. Okay, doors. Closed, passengers seated, B4 star checklist complete. Okay, below the line, please. Air compacts off, anti-collision light on, park and brake set, transponder alert off, B4 star checklist complete. Okay, if I need to guess, Refueling. No, I requested pushback, nothing else. GSX. GSX. Really? And why does it spawn this ugly piece of VDGS holder? All I want is a pushback, please. Nothing else. Completely nothing else. Okay. Why is there a baggage vehicle coming? Okay, I think that's part of the scenery. That's okay. So we just gotta wait for the pushback to start then, huh? I thought I'd prepare everything early, requesting it in time, and what does it do? Complete and utter mess. So, is it doing the right thing this time? Yep, we selected that already. God, I just want to get rid of that program. I so hope that someone is eventually going to provide us with a good ground services add-on, and not this piece of junk. Okay, well, they are preparing their stuff down there. The pin is installed already. Ground from flight deck? Go ahead. So please confirm all doors and hatches closed, ground equipment removed, and bypass pin is installed. That's all confirmed. Roger, we're clear to push facing east, park brake set. Stand by. If a real ground services provider would be that inefficient, we would just literally report them and probably fire them on the second or third occasion. Okay then, well, hopefully they are ready any moment now. What's the current temperature in the cabin? Okay, here we go. 25 degrees, that's alright. Good, release parking brake, please. Brake released. So, finally, we are pushing. So, it did become quite busy here while we've been doing our pushback and getting angry about GSX. But here we are, finally going. Okay, ground flight, starting engine 2. Clear 2. And 2. Oil pressure, and 1. Okay, push complete, set brakes. Brake set. Okay, we have a good start in 2, starting 1. Let's do isolated pack operation here, and starting 1. And 2, oil pressure, and 1. ground flight deck. We have 2 good engine starts. You're clear to disconnect. Show me the sign on the right, please, and have a good day. Bye now. Start a cutout, monitor 1. Number 1 stable. And there's the sign received. Flight control track. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Rudder. Full left. Full right. Neutral. After start checklist. Generators on. APU off. Start switches continuous. ProArt on. NTIs off. Air conditioning. PAX auto. Bleeds on. Isolation off. Auto. Flaps. 5 required, 5 selected and a green light. Step trim 6.4 required set. Start levers idle detent. Flight controls checked, recall checked, before taxi checklist complete. Okay, clear on the left side and clear on the right side. Park and brake off. Config. Checked. So, let's give it a go. Taxi is as briefed out to the left hand side and then on to the outer taxiway. Here we go. Okay, clear left side, clear right side. So, onto the outer. And on towards runway 22. Nice detailing on the taxiways down here with all those little fixtures and everything they did. That is exactly what airports look like. Alright, before takeoff checklist, down to the line please. Flight controls are checked. No, that's the Airbus version. So, config, checked, flaps, 5 green light, stop trim, 6.4 set. Takeoff briefing, left seat takeoff, runway 22, flaps 5, noise abatement procedure 2. Takeoff speeds 144, 146, 149, and the SID straight ahead 8 miles from Geneva or 7000, whichever is later. Left turn, radial 141 outbound Passerie VOR. Initial climb, flight level 90, noise abatement procedure number 2. We have the PAX auto, bleeds on, anti-ice off, and in case of emergency, straight ahead to 8 DME, and then a left hand turn back to Geneva VOR to pick up the holding. Any questions? No? Perfect. Cabin secure, before takeoff checklist complete, down to the line. Okay, so we'll taxi to the full length, and I can't seem to see anyone on the arrivals, so it's probably gonna be our turn straight away, huh? By the way, something I noticed that I really like here is how the entire airport surface is not even, but you're always going up or downhill somewhere. Now that's exactly what airports are like. In the real world they are barely all even. You notice that kinda all the time. Like right now we're accelerating over here with, well, 28% thrust, okay, it's not too much, but earlier on you could see how I had to use a lot more thrust in order to get the aircraft to slightly accelerate uphill. And that's the kind of stuff you have to do as a pilot in the real world all the time, so I like that. Okay, cabin crew, prepare for departure. I will use VNAV for the takeoff here. No need to do Ryanair SOP. Okay, before takeoff checklist below the line. MCP. Set. Transponder. Tara. Strobe lights on. Holding at landing light. Okay, ready for rolling takeoff. Landing lights on. Before takeoff checklist complete. Timing. Thrust set. Checked.
V1, rotate. Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. LNAV. Checked. Okay, back up. Flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps up. Speed checked. Flaps up. So, accelerating 250 knots, and then we are gonna continue that climb to be sure we make the flight level 70. And reaching 250 knots, perfect. Okay, flaps up, no lights. Set standard. After takeoff checklist. Air condition and pressurization, 1.8, climbing. Set. Altimeters. Standard, passing flight level 60 now. After takeoff checklist complete. Okay, release the cabin. And then let's go ahead and continue our climb. Let's say flight level 210 at first, so that we are clear of all those restrictions. And passing level 70, time to commence the left-hand turn onto the radial 141 outbound Passerie. Very nice look outside. A little bit of hand flying here while we can. Got to enjoy those flight dynamics of the 737. I really do like the way it flies. PMDG has put a lot of effort into it, and it just shows. It really shows. The plane is a pure pleasure to fly. Okay, we have the level 100 restriction over here at the 9 DME point. And we already have that level. Perfect. Since we're still on manual flight, I will do the acceleration first and then do the 10 checks next. So, a little bit of nose down trim here. And going right into the sun. What else? Let's get that sunshade up. Here we go. Okay, so altimeters. Passing level 118, climbing 210 10x. Fuel is balanced, 6 pumps on, lights off, APU off, air cannon press, 4.0 climbing set. Fasten belts on for now, recall checked. And monitoring 1 to 1.5, 10 checks complete. Beautiful. Slightly overshot the turn over here, but that's fine. Not too bad. Okay, we met the level 130 restriction already, and thereafter we have the 160 restriction, which we should be able to meet without any problems as well. Okay then. So we don't need that timer anymore. We'll wait until we're established exactly on the route, and then I'm going to engage the autopilot. Since from here on it's basically now just flying straight ahead. Command A. The plane barely makes any movement as we engage the autopilot. That's exactly how it should be. Terrain is no longer an issue, so we can close the vertical situation display over here. And with that, we are up and in the air. So, let's have a quick look at our FMS. Estimated time of arrival 1022, but I think that is without the winds. Let's go ahead and uplink those. Scheduled time of arrival 1040, perfect. Scheduled flight level is 350, but it doesn't give us any dispatch notes here, so I don't think that that is an optimized level for weather or something. For that reason, I am going to climb a little bit higher there. We're closing in on Antalya, and we have the airport inside now at 12 o'clock already. Passing 15,000 feet, we are going to turn on the fasten seatbelt sign, and then I suppose we are going to start with the approach briefing just now for you. So, threats for the arrival, obviously we can see the biggest threat already, and that is straight ahead the terrain around the airport. How are we going to mitigate against that? Well, you see it in action down here already. The terrain display is active, and I'm also using the vertical situation display here, as it gives us a little bit greater situational awareness for our vertical management. Now, looking at Flight Radar 24, it does look like the real flight did get a shortcut quite a couple times. So let's go direct Alpha India 517 over here and make a slight right-hand turn. That'll put us a little bit high on profile, but that's nothing we can't correct for with our speed brake. So let's get that speed brake out, and then we are going to set that altitude down over here. 3000 is going to be our next constraint, and that is basically right onto the downwind already. Now, that's pretty much all the threads we have. So going into the FMS setup, we start with 250 below 10,000. The forecast page is all filled in, and we have fixed rings around runway 36 right of 10 miles and 4 miles. For our arrival, we are basically going into the downwind already. We can nicely see that down here on the approach chart. Inbound 517, and thereafter it's going to be downwind and then vectors onto the final for runway 36 right. The approach itself is the ILS Zulu approach runway 36 right, chart 11-8. Frequency 108.1 is set active in both radios, and the final approach course 002 is set active on both courses. The minimum today 359 is selected up here as well, and going on with our FMS, we do have the final approach fix at 1500 feet, 4.2 DME, which we can confirm on the chart down here, so that is pretty close to the airport itself. Now, it is a 3-degree glide path, and in case of go-around, we climb on radio 032 outbound Lara VOR to 1600, then turn right, not before 2.5 DME, climb to 3000, proceed to the VOR and hold, maximum 180 knots until inbound Lara VOR. And in here, we've got Lara VOR, then track 032 outbound till Lara -3, and then a right-hand turn back to the VOR at 180 knots and 3000 feet. Okay. 3.2 tons arrival fuel, we're burning 200 kilos, that's a landing weight of 62.9. And we are gonna go for a flaps 30 landing today, auto brakes 3, vacating after about 1,800 meters runway, as you can see down here, and then it's gonna be a fairly straightforward taxi. Vacating over here, Mike 4, Juliet, then northbound on Echo, and parking on Apron 1 International Terminal. And that's it. That's about as easy as these things get today. Well, next up, let's continue with the 10 checks. So we've got the fuel. Slight imbalance here since it pumped the center tank fuel into the left tank. So nonetheless, almost balanced with 4 pumps on. The lights are going on, angle of bank 25, air conditioning pressurization 3.3 descending and set. Fast modes on, recall checked 1 to 1.5, deselected, and that's our 10 checks complete. So we're closing in on our vertical path. Slowly but steadily. It's a 737 after all. The speed brake is not very good on this one, despite whatever Boeing says in the manuals. We have cleared the mountains, so we no longer need the vertical situation display over here. Nonetheless, I will keep the terrain display active, just because. That's why. Okay, looks like we will not make the 3000 restriction over here. We'll reach the 3000 slightly behind, but that is fine with me, since we have plenty of space on the downwind anyway. Looking at flight radar, the real flights don't really seem to use that 3000 restriction too much as well. Probably due to those shortcuts, but who knows. Okay, so next up we can do our frisk check. So that's frequencies 108.1, fixed rings, runway 36 right, 10 miles, 4 miles. Items, we've got India Alpha Lima Yankee, which is confirmed. Standby instruments are set and the courses 002 set once, twice, 3 times. Okay, approach checklist. Well, descent checklist first, then approach checklist second. So, pressurization, land out 200, anti-ice off, approach briefing fuel discussed, ice and out box checked and set. Descent checklist complete, approach checklist, altimeters and instruments, second cross check, approach aids checked and set. Approach checklist complete. Very nice view with the mountains in the background. Okay. Speed brake going in. Let's go into radar vector now. Heading select. And then we can extend the center line, please. We might just as well do it this way. That should give us the best possible vertical guidance there. Okay, a level change, speed back to 20. And then let's do a little bit of manual flight. Okay, turn left heading 090. Update that direct, please. Here we go. Okay, we're gonna go right into a 10-mile final over here. That's what I really like this 10-mile ring for. You can just radar vector yourself pretty much perfectly with that. Okay, so speed back 180, flaps 1. Speed checked. And flaps 5. Speed checked. So, manual thrust as well. And here we go. Okay, turn left onto heading a 030, cleared ILS approach. Runway 36 right. Localizer alive. Wall up captured. Glide slope captured. Go around altitude 3000 set. Okay, set runway heading 002. Here we go. Okay, that's looking very good. Terrain noted. Airport in sight on the 12 o'clock. Looks like we actually do need a little bit of thrust here. I did not quite expect that. But so be it. If it wants thrust, then it can get thrust. Okay, let's start configuring slightly earlier than normal. Gear down, flaps 15. Landing checklist to flaps. Start switches, continuous, recall, checked, speed brake, arm, green light, landing gear down, 3 green. Auto brake, 3 set, holding at flaps. Flaps 30. Speed checked, flaps 30. So, complete the landing checklist, flaps 30, 30, green light, landing lights on, landing checklist complete. So nice to see how well the 737 slows down on final approach compared to, say, for example, your average favorite Airbus A330. Barely slows down at all. Man, very hard to see the airport at all up there. Much too bright. Oh well, that's why we're flying on instruments, huh?
300. Approaching minimums.
Checked.
200. Minimums.
Continue.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Okay, speed brake up, thrust was normal. 83%. Manual brakes. Auto brake disarm. And with that, welcome to Antalya. Alright, we're gonna vacate to the left. That should be Mike 4 if I'm not mistaken. And that is Mike 4. Perfect. Then we're gonna use the airport map for our taxi, and with that, welcome to Antalya, in case I didn't say it yet. Okay, there is no after landing checklist in the 737. That was probably one of the big struggles during my type rating, remembering to do the after landing checklist after doing so many thousands of flights on the 737. And nowadays I'm sitting here, after landing check? Oh no, we don't have one. Well, it's fun. It's good fun. Okay, so we're going to go to the right on the Echo and then to the terminal. And our stand today is the 118, so all the way on the other hand side. Let's go ahead and select that. GSX, gate, 118. Okay, follow me, no thanks. Handling by, well, Turkish Airlines, why not? After all, Sun Express is a subsidiary of Turkish. So we're exactly at 63 tons. That means we can do single engine taxi today. So let's complete that turn, speed it up to a proper speed, and then I'm going to shut down engine number 2. Gotta wait for 3 minutes over here, which we almost have. I think this will work out rather perfectly here. Okay, shut down engine 2. And number 2 is shutting down. Now we gotta do some proper energy management here, since we're basically at the maximum weight where we can do single engine taxi. So those turns over here are not too sharp. We knew that ahead of time, and we can somewhat cut it a little bit over here to remain on that main taxiway, so that way we don't have to slow it down, but we can simply keep that energy that we had from the previous acceleration. Now, as you can see, it does roll rather fine with this. Okay, so we have to taxi onto the other side of the terminal, and then we are going to enter the gate from there. Stand number 118. Wow, that taxi line here is not exactly what I'd call straight, though I'm not 100% sure whether the real one is, but I didn't come across too many taxi lines that were not properly straight in my career yet. Okay, so around the corner, and then the second gate from the end. Once we are around the corner, I'm going to start the APU, but not too early. So here comes the right-hand turn, down towards 10 knots. And here we are, APU start. Okay, 118 is over there. Lights off. So, down to a decent speed, 5 or 6 knots or something the likes as we're entering the gate. So, quick check, lights off, weather radar off. That's always my personal one. And here we are. Okay. Two blue, one red, engines dead. Cabin crew, disarm slides and cross-check. Okay, then we have both engines below 20%. Parking checklist, or rather transit shutdown checklist. Electrical on APU, fast modes off, ProArt auto, anti-ice off, air conditioning, PAX auto. Engine bleeds on, APU bleed off, start switches, exterior lights set, start switches off, auto brake off, speed brake down to 10, flaps up no light, parking brake set, start levers cut off, weather radar off, transponder 2000 standby, CB in, cockpit door unlocked, and that is our checklist complete. So let's go for deboarding, please. And with that, all I can say is welcome to Antalya. Also, let's go ahead and get the trucks in place, and we're also going to get a ground power unit, please. Likewise, we can get ourselves an air conditioning unit. That way we don't have to worry about our about running the APU. Right, APU off, packs are off, which is necessary for using the external air. Well, and with that, welcome to Antalya, everyone. I do hope that you enjoyed this one. Give me your feedback in the comments below. As always, be sure to like, comment and subscribe if you really did like the video and if you're up for more. And if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you for watching, and I see you all again on the next one.